Sister, if I could sit down with my 20-year-old self, honey, the things I would tell her, there's so much to tell her. I would love on her real hard, first of all, but that's not what I want to get into right now.
Lexy Lu.
The lessons, the heartbreaks, the glow-ups, the mistakes, the wins, the losses. There's so much I've learned. And if you're in your 20s or entering your 30s, like me, there's some things I'd like to share because society has a way of making us feel like by 20-something we're supposed to have it all figured out, right? You're supposed to be the Carrie Bradshaws of the world. You're supposed to have your ideal lifestyle, your ideal career, your dream car. And let's be real, the dream man too, ain't no faking around here. But we all know that that's not always the reality, and what they don't tell you about is the pressures, a lot of pressure, the self-doubt, and just a whole lot of figuring it out, you know. And today I would like to share some of the realest advice I could possibly give. Now, I may just start spewing these out kind of fast because my mind is going, honey. We got some things to say, some things to get through on today. Now, I don't know if this is cranberry in this cup. Now that's my business. But let's jump right into it. I would first like to start this series off by thanking a supporter by the name of Sab. She sent me an email, a very lovely email. Let me just say that I love receiving emails from you guys. I love hearing your stories and how something I have done or something I have said may have inspired you. But this beautiful woman by the name of Sab requested that I did a series on the things that I wish I knew in my 20s, and I gladly obliged because, honey, there's so much. There's so much to tell you. And if what I've learned and what I know could help another woman on their journey, that fills my cup so much. So I would like to welcome you to the series that I call The Things I Wish I Knew in My 20s. There's so much that I have accomplished and so much that I have yet to accomplish, and I'm very excited for this chapter, but in entering this chapter, it means that it closes another, and I would like to share some of that with you. First point of business, ladies, you do not have to have it all figured out by 20. I know, it sounds crazy, right? Life unfolds in its own pace, and the woman I am today is nothing like the woman that I thought I would be at 30. I once thought that I would be a designer, then I thought I would be a stylist. I fell really deeply into corporate America. Can't say too much about that, you know, NDAs and whatnot. But I found a lot of passion there, and that wasn't where God wanted me to be, so that is not where I ended up. That's a whole nother story time. We'll talk about that later. But my point of saying that is when you come into 30, you realize that a lot of the things that were important to you in your 20s are no longer important. A lot of the things that served you in your 20s will no longer serve you, and that is okay. Going with the pace and the flow of life is a gift and is something to cherish. It's okay to not have it all figured out. Do not expect to always have it figured out because you just won't. Point number 2. Now, I'm going to start off in numbers, but these may end up as bullet points as we get on because we're going to get into some things, honey. But point number 2 would be stop trying to please everyone. Everyone is not going to like you, and that is okay. I have learned that the hard way. I have gone through a people-pleasing phase, and let me just tell you, baby, that does not happen anymore. I am far past that stage of life. I am not someone who exists to please other people. And the older that you get, the more that you realize that who you are is based upon who you allow yourself to be and the space that you allow yourself to take up. And don't dim your light for anybody. Don't become okay with coming into agreement with someone else's ideal of you. It is okay to step outside of the box. It is okay to not please everyone. Everyone is not going to like you, and you have to learn to be okay with that. Your 20s are about learning It is not about perfection. Be okay with that. Mistakes are a part of growth, and it's something that you have to be okay with. Also know that all of it is a part of your growth, and at some point of your life it will serve its purpose. And a lot of what I learned about growth is just sitting back and listening. Not always having something to say, but to just be very observant and be very mindful. Healing is a lifelong journey. You are not going to wake up one day and just be healed. You're not going to wake up one day and all your childhood trauma is going to disappear. You're not going to wake up one day and your confidence is going to be soaring. You're not going to wake up one day and everything is going to be hunky-dory. It's something that you have to work at. It's something that you have to constantly have to remind yourself of the trials that you've been through that have gotten you to where you are, to realizing that when you are healing and working on pieces of yourself, you have to confront a lot of things about yourself that you do not like. You also have to be okay with it and be okay with correcting it, and correcting it takes accountability. Be able to take accountability for the way that you have handled yourself and the way that you have handled others as well. As you do that, you will continue on your path to growth, and it will give you a new perspective on life. Confidence comes from doing and not waiting. If you wait forever to have the confidence to do the things you want, you will never begin. You just have to start. Your confidence builds as you continue to go and as you continue to grow. Saying no is self-care. It's not selfish. Protect your peace at all costs. Saying no could mean a number of things. No, I don't want to do what you want to do. No, I don't want to go there. No, I'm not going to conform to your way of thinking. No, I'm not going to give in because you're sad. No, I'm not going to conform because you're upset. No, I'm not going to do this. No, I don't want to do that. No. Be okay with saying no. I got very comfortable with this about mid-20, because as I told you guys before, I was once a people pleaser, and I would give in and conform to the ways that people would want me to behave or the way someone else was feeling. That quickly faded away, and I became okay with no. You have to be okay with no, because if you don't say no, you will fall for anything. You don't have to prove your worth to anyone. You are worth it no matter what. We are in a society that falls deeply into the spirit of comparison, to fall into the category of what if and what I am not and what I am not doing. Don't do that. Think of yourself as a flower. There is always room for a flower to grow, and a flower is always losing and shedding its petals so that it can grow into a bigger blossom. I want you to think of yourself in that way, so that you don't feel so victimized into conforming into the way of the world and giving into the spirit of comparison, because the spirit of comparison is the killer of joy. It's a thief of joy, and when you allow yourself to be so overtaken by what other people think of you and lose sight of yourself, you will always do that for the rest of your life. So get into the habit of loving on yourself now, so that it's not so hard for you to do later on. Trust your intuition. It is always right. Always trust your gut. Situation, place, thing. Always trust your gut. You are never wrong. Your intuition is always correct. And you know what I'm talking about. It can be people, person, place, or thing. Okay? Not every friendship is meant to last forever, and that is okay. I have learned this deeply on my journey. I have had some friendships that have ended lightly. I have had some friendships that ended hard, and all the time they are okay. What I have learned is that when you allow yourself to be vulnerable in relationships, then you also have to allow the progression and the degression of those relationships to happen, whether you like it or not. Because everyone who is in your life for a season, they're in your life for that reason, but it doesn't mean that they're meant to stay. And that's okay. You outgrow people, and people outgrow you. And sometimes you have to be okay with letting go. I have relationships that have ended because of distance. I have relationships that have ended because of the spirit of comparison. I have relationships that have ended because of envy. I have all kinds of relationships that I have had to let go because my intuition told me that they were not for me. And that is okay. You have to trust your discernment and trust that what God has for you and the people that God has for you will come, and they will be there, and they will be who they are as they are supposed to be in your life, and that will be the blessing in the midst of your journey. Red flags do not turn green over time. Believe people the first time. This is a lesson that I have learned many times by bumping my head, okay? You cannot fix people. You cannot change people. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. This can be in a platonic relationship. This could be in an intimate relationship. Whenever someone shows you their red flags, take note, observe, and then quietly disappear. No. I'm not saying disappear, but what I am saying is take note, be mindful, because a lot of those times, those people don't change. They just get better at hiding it until they decide they don't want to anymore. So just be mindful of that, and please take heed. Listen to your girl. Listen to your girl. Now this one is for the romantic part of your life. Good relationships do not feel like roller coasters. There should not be any guessing. If he wanted to, he would. Love should be a safe space. It should not be chaotic. It should not come with question. It should not hurt. And be mindful of this on your journey, because this is something I had to learn many times by knocking my head. Love is not a roller coaster. It should not hurt. It should not be chaotic. I'm not saying that it's always going to be sugar, gumdrops, and rainbows, but when you are in a relationship that is for you, it will flow with ease, with tiny bumps, not big ones. Which leads me to say, being single is better than being with the wrong person. Okay? Let me say it again. Being single is better than being with the wrong person. Loneliness is not a reason to settle. Loneliness is not a reason to allow yourself to be small. Loneliness is not a reason to give your body to the person that does not deserve it. Loneliness is not allowing yourself to be disrespected when you know you deserve better. Loneliness does not allow you to do that. So, again, I say, being single is better than being with the wrong person, because if you are with the wrong person, you will be reminded of that continuously, and you will be reminded of that in the ways that you lose yourself. Your relationship with you sets the tone for every other relationship in your life. If you are not happy with yourself, you are not going to be happy with other people. If you are not happy for yourself, you're not going to be happy for other people. If you are not okay with yourself, you are not going to be okay with other people in your space. No matter how you try to fake the funk, you will not be okay unless you are okay with you. So fix yourself first, love yourself first, heal yourself first, and then worry about outside relationships. Because until you get there within yourself, you are never going to be truly happy. You are never going to truly be happy for anyone else, and that will shape the dynamic of your relationships. So be sure to love on yourself. Don't self-loathe in any way that you can. Don't victimize yourself. Hold yourself accountable and be the best that you can be for yourself. It is okay to walk away from toxic family members. Blood is not an excuse to mistreat you. Blood is not a pass for being able to handle you any kind of way, because if you allow people to handle you any kind of way, they will always handle you any kind of way. So if someone is toxic towards you, may it be family or friend or foe, set boundaries and allow yourself the space to do that. And like I said earlier, be okay with saying no. No, I'm not going to take that. No, I'm not going to conform to your way of thinking. No, I'm not going to settle for less because you did. And no, you do not have to fix people. It is not your job to fix anyone. You do not have to heal anyone at the expense of yourself. I went through this issue. I felt like I could fix everyone around me, and the answer is no. You are not here to fix anyone else. You are here to allow yourself the space to become who you are supposed to be follow within the Holy Spirit and He will guide you to where He needs you to be. Always use your discernment and be sure to check on you before you check on anybody else. Again, it is not your job to heal anybody else, okay? Are you listening to me, Linda? It is not your job to heal anybody else. You do not heal or fix anyone else at the expense of your own heart, at the expense of your own time, your own energy, and your peace of mind. Do you hear me? Quality over quantity in friendships, always. I myself in my 20s found issue with being around people who would allow anyone in their spaces. You cannot be around everyone. Everyone does not fit your mood. They do not fit your energy. And a few real friends is a hell of a lot better than a whole lot of fake ones. So hold on to your real friendships. Take heed of those real friendships. Take inventory of those friendships in the way that they handle you, and hold yourself accountable and to the people that you allow in your space. Your 20s is also the best time in your life to take the most risk. Pivot into whatever you are feeling. Whatever makes you feel the sun from the inside out, do it. No matter how strange it may be, do it, because that may be pushing you to your more. It's like breadcrumbs. It's like the Lord leaving breadcrumbs to you and to your guiding. Like, allow yourself to experience those things and allow yourself the space to be able to become exactly who you want to be, regardless of if it looks like what you thought it would. Your job does not define your future. Your career does not define your future. Who your parents want you to be will not define who you will become. Everything that you want for yourself right now will not be what you want for yourself in a decade, and that is okay. Be okay with change. Be okay with evolving. That is a part of the journey. That is a part of life, and it's the beauty of it all. The evolution of who I have become now is completely different from who I was in my 20s, and I'm really grateful for that. I'm really grateful for the growth, and I'm really just blessed to where God has brought me mentally, physically, spiritually, in my family, and here with you. A degree isn't always the key to success. There are millions of people who have succeeded without a degree. Sometimes your skills and your experience matter just as much. Be mindful of that and follow your goals and your passions that aren't always on paper. Learn about money very early on. Budgeting, investing, and taking care of yourself financially very early on is going to set you up for success. Having gratitude in your life will shift your entire way of thinking. Focus on what's going right and not what's going wrong. When you put energy into the negative things in your life, you continue to attract negative things. But when you show gratitude for the things that you have and how far that you've come, you continue on the up and up. So no matter what it looks like right now, focus on having gratitude for how far you've come and where you're going, and try to hone in on exactly who you want to be in this season and not who you were. Be very intentional about your time because you cannot get that back. Be intentional with the people that you allow in your space because those people will affect where you go, and allow yourself to be able to evolve in that way. Faith over fear always. Don't let self-doubt hold you back. Don't allow your negative thoughts of yourself to stop you from where you are going. Remember that you just have to have the faith of a mustard seed to get to where you want to become. So allow yourself that space. Allow yourself to be able to take up space and have faith that where God is leading you to is exactly where you need to be. Success looks different for everyone, so stop comparing yourself to others on your journey. Your journey is for you. Where you are in life intentionally is for you. What someone else has does not matter. It's not about where they are. It's about where you're going. And allow yourself to be able to see your own beauty and not focus in on everyone else's, because someone else's skill set may not be your skill set. You may be gifted in one area and someone may be gifted in another. So don't feel like you have to be in a rat race of catch up with somebody else. Don't compare yourself to someone else's journey, and also don't try to conform to someone else's journey because theirs is not yours. Stick to what you know, stick to where you're going, and follow in the path of your own, because it will lead you to where you should be. And lastly, I would like to say, you are still so young. No matter how old you feel, you or me, you have so much life ahead of you, and there's so much to accomplish from here on out. Be mindful of that and be excited about that. Find joy in the journey and be able to take note of where you are on this journey. No matter how it looks right now, it's always going to get better as long as you intend for it to get better. So I really hope that you enjoyed this talk. I really hope that you took something away from this talk. Again, 20 is a chapter that is closing of mine very soon. I will be turning 30 very soon. And in turning 30, I thought that it was something that would be really scary for me, but it's not. It's very exciting. I feel very blessed to be here. I have grown so much in the last decade. The woman that I am now is nothing like the woman that I was in my 20s. And the people that knew me then, they know nothing about me now, because I have changed so much. My heart has changed so much, and God has really transformed me into who He is designing me to be. I'm really grateful for where I am, and I look 20. I look forward to this journey and to where God is calling me to be. This is only the beginning. I haven't even entered my prime yet. 30 is such a special time, and I truly look forward to it. Honestly, I'm so excited for this season of life. I know that it's going to be beautiful because God has promised it, and He has never steered me wrong, and He ain't never lied to me. He ain't lied yet. Everything that He has promised me, He has given, and I'm so grateful. And with so much gratitude, I appreciate you sitting with me today. I really enjoyed this talk. I hope that you did too. Let me know how you feel in the comments. How old are you? What's something that you're working towards in this journey? And how do you currently feel about yourself? I would love to discuss it and talk with you about it. So until next time, I am so glad that you came to sit with me. I really appreciate you. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.
If nobody has told you